Hi, this is my top 10 inventions based on their effect on, I guess, our society nowadays. So I'll start off with the printing press. Um, for many of the same reasons we discussed in class, it was invented in 1450 by Johannes Gutenberg, and I think its importance is in that it really kickstarted having widespread education and all the positive externalities that are associated with having mass education really start with the printing press. The next one is birth control. Birth control is, at least in my opinion, a huge invention because it gave women the ability to choose when, where, and how many kids they want to have if they want to have kids, which then allows for them to have a career, and it gave 50% of the population, all the women in the world, more control and allowed them to really join industry. Whereas before the advent of birth control, because of a number of societal reasons as well, women were not really able to be in the workforce in the same way that they are today, and in the same numbers. Next one is the engine. For many of the same reasons we discussed in class, the engine is at the core of everything we use nowadays, and so many other inventions could have never happened without the engine, and simply just with production. I mean, if you take out everything else, just with production, without the engine, we couldn't do nearly what we do today with the number and the amount of people that are able to get things for as cheap. Next is the gun. I think it completely changed how wars were fought, which has a huge effect on society. And it ranges back to 1000 CE in China. Next is the car. I think the car, both on a business and on a personal side, allow for transportation, obviously, and more so on the business side, allows for trade that was never really possible before, specifically with like perishable goods. But even with goods that aren't perishable, instead of having months and months of travel time, which would make something extremely expensive, it can now take a day or a couple days to go, for example, across the entire United States. Penicillin really just marks the revolution in medicine, going from ancient medicine to penicillin is really the cornerstone, at least in my mind, of modern day medicine. Electricity is at the core of really everything we use nowadays, and specifically regarding technology. Um, Invented, or I guess not, electricity wasn't invented, but um, yeah. And next is the internet. Internet, I think, very similar to the printing press, has allowed for the widespread sharing of information and knowledge. So, just the same way that the printing press allowed people to become literate in large numbers and all the positive externalities that are associated with that, the internet allows people who don't have necessarily a ton of money or time to learn and experience parts of the world that really they never were able to before. Next is the computer. Computers control everything nowadays. In They're just an integral part of industry, and also with the PC are an integral part of our personal lives now too. And the mobile phone is extremely important because it allows for communication in a different way than was ever done before. Even when we had phones, the mobile phone now allows people to communicate whenever, wherever, and really people can't live without it nowadays, which shows how important it is.